Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to a special presentation of the at TRG Central. Hope everyone had a great holiday season, and we're gonna add to your season by running some special races. We're gonna be looking at the Breeders' Cup history of horses that have won the Breeders' Cup. We're gonna run some races to determine who's the best Breeders' Cup champion of the classic races of all time. So here's the list of horses that have won the classic at least once, and there's 40. There's actually 41 classic races, and there is one horse that has won the race twice. And I guess that would be a cool trivia question, but as we progress here, in fact, the next screen is going to show you who that horse actually is. But you wanted to take a guess before I display the horses for each year. Uh, Maybe you'll do well and pick the right one. So anyway, if we go to the horse rating, this is where you're going to find all of the horses rated on the particular year. We can sort by year. Yep. Starting with the first one in 1984, all the way through this year, 2024, with Sierra Leone. And we look down through here, and here was the horse. Tis now won it in both 2000 as a 3-year-old and 2001 as a 4-year-old. You can see his dirt rating in 2000 was 96, and his 4-year-old season 2001 rating was 94. And of course, we can click this and see who the highest rated horse in this set is. And that, of course, would be American Pharaoh. Most consider him the most dominant horse since the Breeders' Cup class, Breeders' Cup races began. You can see there's a couple 96s, Skip Away, Awesome Again, there's Tis Now, Invasion, and Accelerate. And then you go down, there's some big names, there's Curlin, Cigar, there's the only female horse in the set, the Pena, 5-year-old Wonder Classic in 2009. And you can just see all the various horses. And the lowest rated horse is, well, Tourney at an 88. Probably wondering why in the world. Probably that's low. Mainly, I'd say mainly because he may not have raced in other major races other than the Breeders' Cup. And if he did race in other major races, he didn't do quite as well in the Breeders' Cup race. The Breeders' Cup race was probably his best race that he ever won. So unfortunately, that just winning the Breeders' Cup doesn't guarantee a 90 plus rating. And you can see here, in fact, he must have ran a couple more turf races because his turf race is higher. Now, that is kind of surprising that the owners and trainers decided to go with the classic instead of one of the BC turf races. Well, that's enough of the horse. So let's take a quick look at the jockeys. The jockeys, they're pretty cool in the sense that you can see who are some of the better jockeys in the classic. And you see right off the bat, you see Jerry Bailey. He won the classic 6 times. It's kind of cute to see it in the 1990s. He won it in 91, 93, 94, 95, and 97. Jerry was quite dominant as a jockey riding the BC Classic horses in the 90s. And you see there's another all-time great in Pat Bay. He's won it 4 times. I'm sorry, he won 5 times. And you have Chris McCarron also winning 5 times. And you see there's one of the all-time greats in William Shoemaker. He only won it twice, but you have to remember his career started way before any of the BC races were ever conceived. And you have Mike Smith, and he's also run it 5 times on various horses. Okay, so that's the jockeys that are in the BC Classic series, and then we'll do the races themselves. Now, since there's 41 horses, we're going to divide them up into 5 first round heat races. You see off to the right here, we will have 8 or 9 horses in the field. Heat race 1 is going to have 9, 2 through 5 will have 8. So we're going to run all those races at Del Mar. And then we're going to go around 2 heat races, and they'll be run at Keeneland. And they're going to take the top 3 horses. Well, we're going to take the top 16 horses from the first round, 5 heat races, and we'll rate them, rate the horses, and we'll take the top 16. And then we'll have 2 races. Each will have 2 heats. Will have 8 horses in each race, and then 8 horses combined. The heat race 1 and 2 will be entered into the finals. And we'll do that all on one episode. Hopefully it won't take hours on end to run the races and do a little more commentary. So I think that's it for my commentary. We went over all 41 horses quickly. Also the jockeys that will be riding the horses. And finally the races themselves. And I guess we probably should check and see how I divided up the horses for the races. Now, and here's heat race 1. And you see the older winners and the newer winners are at the end. So what we're going to do is when we get to the schedule, we're going to draw post positions for all of them. We just fill this in based on year. You'll find out that heat race 2 is going to have the 85 and the 90 and so forth. Interesting to look at the trainers too to see how many horses they had trained and won the classic. And of course we already know that the jockey. Okay, here's round 1, heat race 2. American Pharaoh and his now are entered in this race. Heat race 3. The other Tisnow horse. Holiday jockey for the jockeys that did run, and on the did ride the horse when they were running the classic, ran in the classic. So Lafayette was the jockey during the classic for the 1986 classic and so forth. Heat race 4. Always liked AP Indy for some reason. And Keeneland, so this is pretty good. Gun runner when we were creating the 2017 season. And 2016 Gun runner was an excellent horse to follow. A lot of people in 2022 thought that Flightline was one of the top horses that ever ran in the 21st century. And the 5th heat race. You see the horses there is white and video. Like the name Macho Man. I wonder where they got that from. And so forth. Oh, those are the 5 races. The horses that will be running in each heat race. The jockeys, and a little bit of information about owner and trainer. All horses will carry 126 except female. Yeah, then she'll be carrying. I think we need to switch that real quick here. She'll be carrying 124. Let's do a quick update here on that. So I'm going to pause it while I update. Okay, I think we've corrected that in the update. So let's go back and take a look at the heat race 1 in the first round, and you'll see is that we'll be carrying 124. Usually all males will carry 126. Sometimes the 3-year-olds may carry less. In this race, we're going to let them all carry the same, other than the mare. So now I think everything's all set. Let's go ahead and head over to the scheduling system. And you see the schedule is called TRG Classics. All the races will be run on in 1 week schedule, as you can see here. We decided week 45. And you can see all of the horses. All of the races. You have the 5 heat races and the 2 second rounders and the finals. You can see the 5 first round heat races already have their fields edited. And we want to change the draw randomized post position. So hold on. Okay, so next up is doing the post position draw. So let's go ahead and do that. And you see the little button disappears, because when you're in schedule mode, you're only allowed to draw post positions once. If you're in the regular mode, it's just running the race as a one-off standalone race, you can change the post positions, draw as many times as you want. Okay, so let's take a quick look and see how the fields are now set up. Here's your post positions. Post position. Oh man, American favorite got a bad draw there. He'll be out of the on a post position 8. Tiz now has 1 cigar. That'd be an interesting race there. The American favorite can catch any of them up against the rail. Third race, Tiz now again. Got an excellent draw for post position 1. In the third heat race. Fourth heat race. White line got post 1. AP got 4. Curlin got post position 3 in the draw. Okay, and the final heat race 5. Pleasantly Perfect got the post position 1 draw. And there's White Albino, that's the full horse, and of course the full name Macho Man, post position 6. Okay, all the fields are as drawn for the post position, so I think we're ready to get started. Just a little bit of background. First round heat races, first will be 70,000, then the first jumps up to 700,000 for round 2 heat races, and then the winner of the finals will be will share that $7 million horse. Again, Delmar first 5 in the first 5 heat races in round 1, then round 2 we'll run at Keeneland, and then round 3 we'll run at Santa Anita Park. The reason why we selected Santa Anita is Santa Anita has run the most BC races than any of the other courses. So, let's go ahead and count first, and then we have to lock him, saying yes, we're all good on the first 5. Their fields have been set, and their post position has been determined. And then if we went through the fields there, you'd see it would have been a much nicer display. Anyway, we'll just quickly click them just to see the better display. And there you go, there. Now when we populate the second round of the finals, we'll also, if we wanted to, can take a look at the past performances. Obviously, since we're running this series standalone, there's no past performances for any of the horses. So let's go ahead and get the first race up. That's round 1, heat race 1 at Delmar. There you have the morning line. Interesting here. You would think most of the morning lines would be pretty close, but for some reason, Captive has a morning line of 61.50. He's paying 61.50 for every dollar wagered on. You see our 2 favorites are in lane post position 1 and 2, Vino Rosa and Wild Again. Wild Again was the first champion in 1984, ridden by Pat Day. Okay, so let's move on. Oh, one other thing, we're going to run all the races in fast condition. Okay, I think they were now ready to just go over to Delmar. get the race started, and the field is down here. If you hover over them, you'll get the horse and the jockey tandem. And we're going to take a quick look at cat feet here in this part. And you click it. You see it's a 92. You get out of the gate. Four is kind of like normal. You did win $3 million, so it's kind of interesting that he has the worst odds on the board. So, anyway, let's go ahead and get the race started. All races will be run in spectator mode. We will do any manual moving on the horses if the auto jockey gets stuck. Every once in a while, the auto jockey gets a little. It's not sure when the horses are all bundled up exactly whether to go inside or out, and sometimes he just asks for help. And if that happens, then we'll go ahead and help. So let's go ahead and check the sewage tower, see if everything's okay. Everything's great. And sometimes sewage tower might find out that there's a scratch, and then he'll the tower will let us know if any horses happen to be scratched. There won't be any scratched horses for any of these races. So I think we're just ready to go. Looks like Walligan's going to be out of the gate first. And we're off, and there he goes. As you see, we're heading into the first turn, and it looks like it's Wild again. First, we have Rennie Rosso, and see we already have jockey has 3 movement points left. When they have 3 or more movement points left, I pop it up. This is a parameter you can change. So we already have a jockey inquiry that we'll find out about it. End of the race, so a lot of things are already happening. Let's do an undo for Vader. Horse 5. And see, there's 3 horses in front of him. Normally, we don't like the horse to go into lane 4 and have auto jockey do that. So, let's go ahead and we'll undo because we want to move outside before we get into the turn, so they only cost 1 point then. But she still has to give up a forward movement to move sideways. And you see in exchange 1 forward. Sideways, we're going to have to do that again, since he has no sideways left. You subtract the 1 and you get 2 sideways, and now we can go outside 1 more time. And then we see how far he can go. And you see he did pass all 3 of them, so it was good for us to take control. So then we can end the turn, there's no more movement. Sideways you have, it costs you 2. And then you can't go in front of a horse. I think the movement is done for Ryder. We'll end his turn and resume the race. And you see in the back straight here, we still have Wild again with a slight lead over Vino Rosa. Unfortunately, our only female horse in the race is not doing very well. They are in the back of the pack. We're now already heading into the home stretch. Back in the pack horses probably do not have much of a chance. And here we go, we have a finish. It looks like it's Vino Rosa. with the win. That's unofficial because we do have a jockey inquiry. And the inquiry, I guess, was, without here, yeah, there was no file. And that was an inquiry on Sunday silence. Anyway, here's your finish. And the Roseville and those chapter we hadn't even talked about throughout the race. And look at Cat Thief, the one that had the high odds. When they came in fourth, and unfortunately, Yalta came in last, and that'll be the only race that she runs in this tournament. So there you have the first heat race. Finish that up and go back to heat to the schedule. Take a quick look at the second heat race. After very good horses in Tisnell, Cigar, Flame, I'm sure a lot of you can remember the name Unbridled, American Taylor. Very good. This should be a very, very good race. Let's head back over to Delmar. Delmar's betting window. You see, odds are a little closer. This now looks like to me in the favorite. American Pharaoh line is pretty heavy, mainly because he's had a solid eighth post position, and we have some very, very good horses already in the closer to the rail. Might be hard for American Pharaoh to do a whole lot, but we'll go ahead and see. We'll head over to the racetrack and get this race started. Okay, it looks like Tisnell is going to be out of the gate first, so that makes it even harder for the American Pharaoh to do much of anything. Also, where it is to give you the horse and jockey perspective. And I think we're ready to go. Take a look at Stewart's Tower. That's good. So, you see Curly got out of the gate first. But American Pharaoh was second. And look at American Pharaoh. He's got the lead already before the turn. Sim and Tisnell 1-2, and then Blame third. We're heading out of the first turn into the back stretch. We still have a very, very good race. There's 4 horses all together. Even Blame, and look at that now. There's 3 horses tied. Tisnell, American Pharaoh, and Blame. Oh, horse 5, that's Unbridled, just passed him and is now taking the lead. And 3 is trying to catch up. That's Flame. We have just there's the last turn. It looks like it's going to be Unbridled with the unofficial race results as horse 1. And there you have it. Unbridled first, Flame second, Authentic third, American Pharaoh fourth. Is now 5th. It'll be interesting to see if Tisnell made it. Unfortunately, for some reason, Cigar had a terrible outing, along with Foul Truth. They're probably both eliminated also. Remember, we're not just taking the top 3 or 4, we're taking the top 16 out of all the horses in all 5 heat races. So that's 2 down. We'll go to heat race 3. Take a quick look at the field again. Again, Tisnell is in post position 1. And the rest of the horses. And if I hadn't mentioned Yeah, all the races are 10 furlongs. So round one to the finals. So here's our morning line. Now again is the favorite. Skywalker looks to be the you know the worst at 36.30. All right, let's head over to Del Mar. Here's the horse jockey tandems again. If you're not familiar with the ratings for jockeys, jockeys are rated from 1 to 5, 5 being the best. Usually a 5 has a few more things that they can do during the race, or at least do them a few more times than horse with a jockey 1 on them. Okay, out of the gate first, looks like it's going to be Next Go, right in the middle of the pack. So let's go ahead and check the 2-week tower. Everything's fine, and they're off. And we have Tiz now and Invasion on the duo, and Next Go snuck up and is taking the lead going into the first turn. And he looks like he has a commanding lead right now in the back stretch, but Alphabet's Tooth is narrow that gap a little bit, along with Invasion. And unfortunately, Tiz now is kind of fading. We're into the back turn, clubhouse turn. We have 6. That's Next Go first. Alphabet's Tooth neck and neck with them as we're going down to the final round of the home stretch. Okay, unofficial results looks like it's Next Go and Alphabet Soup. We have a Next Go Alphabet Soup. And Arrogant. What? Arrogant we didn't even talk about during the race ends up third. Unfortunately, the bottom of Tiz now looks like he's going to be out of the second round with that showing. So that's 3. Let's go to heat race 4. Here's the field again. White line has post 1. We have a William Shoemaker on Ferdinand. And I think we're all set for race 4, so let's get to the betting window. And again, the horse in Post Fisher 1 is getting the best odds. And Fernando, Post Fisher 8 getting the worst odds. And Mr. Longshot. Okay, let's go ahead and head over to the track. There's your field. The jockeys on the riding the horses. Hey, Shoemaker again to get the draw for the wild post position up both times. That's kind of funny. Okay, well, looks like for pointing, it's going to be out of the gate first. So let's check the sewage tower. Everything's fine, and they're off. For also, any of you have not know too much about the thoroughbred horse racing game, there's 10 paces for a furlong. So if anybody actually out of the gate gets to pace 11, that's actually a very, very good start. And let's see, we have the back straight, and we have Fort Learned leading second in Pocono, and White Line third. They're heading into the home stretch now, and looks like we have a pretty big lead for Fort Leonard. It looks like his second, third will be contested. And there you have it. There's the unofficial. Oh no, we have a jockey inquiry, so that could change up things. Looks like the jockey inquiry. No foul on. Oh, that would have been terrible if they would have called the foul on the jockey for Fort Leonard. Yeah, Fort Leonard brings up Skip Away and White Line. Gun Runner and Fernand, neither one, maybe even Curly isn't going to make the cut. Heat race 4 will go on to the 5th heat race. Absolutely perfect. Wow, Alvario. Macho Man. Alright, let's go ahead and get over to the betting window, see with the OnStar. And this time the official one does not have the odds. Awesome again. And again, of course, in post-position one has not gotten much respect from the crowd. He's going to go off with 45, 30 to 1, which is paying for every dollar you spend, you win 45, 30. Plus your dollar back. So I guess we're ready to move over to Delmar for the final heat race of round 1. Take a quick look at the horses again. Okay, and we'll see if Silver Tower is ready to run. They are, and they're off, and 7. Accelerate gets out of the gate first. You see, in this race there was 4 that managed 11 spaces, which was the most in any of the races. Usually it's just 1 or 2 and get off to a good start out of the gate. Oh no, horse 4. Alchipa is down. And he might be blocking the finish line too if he doesn't come off the track in time. Home stretch is pleasantly perfect. Macho Man went in second. And there you have it. There's no inquiries, so it looks like that's the final. Pleasantly perfect. Macho Tourney did not finish. Awesome again and accelerate. So that's it for the first round. We'll go ahead now. We'll have to add the fields for the second round. Again, there will be 16 horses. So let's go ahead and add, see what's let's see here. I thought I had this set up to use a lot. Yeah, these need to be set up. These ones here. Let's just quickly do that. So what that does is these two second round heat races, the results will show up on the finals when we do the selections of the field, and they'll be ranked, so you can just pull the top whatever from the thing. And the same thing kind of happened here. We don't have, and we can't link two different round two races to each race. We can only link one of them, so go ahead and link one. We could have ran it as a tournament race and set it up that way too, but we didn't. In a tournament, you could have done brackets and would have been able to find out who runs and what. And we're selecting option 4 because that just saves the information. It doesn't update. It just doesn't update to the race. It doesn't really change anything. You see the other one, you can go to race selection field without any updates. Or you can do 3, you get update, then go to the race selection field and so forth. And let's do race 5. And then we just check them all to make sure that they have a linked race. Like everything fine, so let's go back to the schedule. You see we're on race 6. So let's see if the as-built works this time. There you have it. These are the top horses. Here. So, okay, so we updated the fields for both the round 2 heat race 1 and heat race 2. We'll go ahead and here's the field. Vita Rutter, Zoe Staffer, Unbridled, Rosebud, Chipaway, Ultimate and Authentic, AP Indie American Pharaoh in the first race. In the second, we have Fort Leonard, Pleasantly Perfect, Wild Again, Blame, Mutual Macho Man, Cat Thief, Flank Line, Accelerate, and Tis Now. Maybe you're wondering why there's actually 18 horses instead of 16. Well, about 5 horses. 5 horses all had final race time of 2:06.5, so we just added the 2 extra horses. That was American Pharaoh and Tis Now. the 2000 version. Since you didn't want to cut off the race at any other time. So, with that there, we'll save the field. Everybody's carrying 126. Go back to the schedule. Now what we'll do is I put the horses in post positions based on the winning time. I think they do that in auto racing. I don't know if we want to do that for this or not. We can always draw post position. I think that's the better way of going, since horses are all all BC Classic winners. So we're gonna go ahead and draw for post positions. And we'll lock it. Let's take a quick view now. AP Indies in the first. Hopefully that he was in the last one before, I think. Anyway, in Rosa, American Pharaoh, and so forth. Yeah, over and do the same thing here. And lock it. Take a view of the race. Mucho Macho Man. Drew post position 1, flight line. Post position 9, and everybody in between. So let's go ahead again. These races are from Keeneland, so let's go ahead and get those two races going. Okay, here's the morning line at the Betty Winter at Keeneland. And again, the ninth is having a tough time getting any respect. We see we have 4 horses and 1 to 4 all with about the same odds. So I think we'll go ahead and start the race. And over to England. Keeneland. So again, they're starting to on the further side to see how the tracks are a little different. Let's cover over each of the course markers. And there you have that. Let's go ahead and get over to the Stewart Tower, and it looks fine. Boys, American Pharaoh should be out of the gate first, and there he goes. And you see, he went 2 spaces past 10, which means that's all 12 spaces, so he has almost a commanding lead starting. And we're now heading out of the first turn, but Ghost Scepter has caught up. It's only 1 space behind, and you have Alta again just 2 spaces behind. And through the back straight, we have American Pharaoh. We now have a 3-way here. American Pharaoh also began to chip away. Now it's 4 some. It's an excellent race, and we're starting to weed out the leaders now. And we're in the home stretch. American Pharaoh and Zosap are 1 and 2. And that's the way it's going to finish. Oh, 8 coming up. He could get a 3rd. And there you have American Pharaoh first, Skip Away and Zosap 2nd, and 3rd. Awesome again is 4th. Again, this first with 700,000, American Pharaoh trotted away with $420,000. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the second heat race going in round 2. There's Cat to begin with a rough hot run, but he managed to make the cut in the first round. I wonder if he'll be able to do it again. Again, 2, 4, 5, 6 horses are very close to that. Cat beat. Is the worst of the bunch. Okay, here we go. First, take a look at the post position and who's in which one. And start. That was spectator mode. All the horses look like they're in the starting gate and the Stewart Power announces the horses are set to go. And we have Tiz now breaking out first, and he did a two thing too, just like American Pharaoh did in the last race. See if he can hold on to that lead. Moving into the first turn is Tiz now, Mucho Macho Man, and Cat Deep again. Dallas Fort Leather third, and Cat Deep fourth. And we're in the back straight here. A little more spread out than the last race. And Fort Leonard passed Macho Mucho Man, and Wild again is now fourth. Here in the back. Turning over, starting the home stretch, and it looks like Tiz now is going to cruise to a victory in the second round heat race too. Everybody else is all bunched up behind, but they're way behind him. So it looks like it's a Tiz now win. Ooh, and broke the record so far at 2:04.8. That's the best running time in all round 1 and round 2 races. Is now first, for Leather second, Mucho Macho Man third, Cat Deep coming through again. Fourth, too bad he wasn't in the money though. It been a good payoff for him. Okay, so that's it from Keeneland. We ran the two second round heat races. We'll finish up with the finals. Okay, we're gonna need to add the field to the finals. And see, we can select off of this list. This list looks a little better than the last one. And you can see this now had a 2.48. The best before him was Rio Rosa at 2.49. Rennie Rosa didn't do very well. This time it's probably going to get cut off. So, is now American Pharaoh, Skip Away, Ghost Zapper, Fourth Running, Awesome again, 8, 7, 8, Macho Man, and that's the cutoff. Captive will not make it. He has 2.624. Lucha Macho, if we went 4, we have 3, and they would not be able to all run. So I think that's going to be it. That'll be the field. Change these so they're all. There they go. All of them set. Everybody's carrying 126. Let's save the field. Again, all of these jockeys are the original jockeys from the real life races. Okay, now again we have the horses entered, but we're gonna do the post position draw again. This is their order. It looks like Macho Man drew first, and Tis now was first, went to 8. Okay, so we're all finished here. So let's lock in the field, and we're ready to run the finals. And if you wanted to take a quick look at the past performances, you can't do that. And you can see pretty much how well they've done. There's your speed factors. And there's your 107. That was the best running time so far today, and he gets a 107 for that. On his first running time, you see only 98 at 2:06.5. That must have been just a slow race. See everybody with their winnings. Fort Ladder looks like American Pharaoh has 400,000. Christmas is now 400,000. Look at that, Firmino only won 15,000, even though he came in 5th. In his race, he was able to run a fast enough race to qualify for the second round. And in fact, he even improved in the second round. So, that's the past performances. There's your morning line. And you see the worst morning line is only 18. You notice the big discrepancy, and everybody else, it's like flip a coin, roll a die, anybody has a chance to win. Let's head over to now running this race is Santa Anita. Very similar track to Del Mar. Go through the post positions. Since now is going to be out of the gate first, so he could make up the difference here on being in post position 8 very quick. Take a quick look here at the Stewart Tower. Everything's fine. I guess we're ready. And they're off. And as you see, going into the first turn, we have a pretty good race with American Pharaoh going later. We have Zoe Stafford with Macho Man. In the back straight, it's still Fort Leonard and Zoe Stafford. Lupa and Is now fourth. Going into the back turn. Coming out of the back turn, we have Ghost Zapper with the lead. And that's the finish. It's gonna be Filippo. Filipino. Yeah. Looks like this is the unofficial finish. And we have another record set. Two minutes flat. Man, that's way faster than the running times in the heat races. So we have Tourney first, Joseph for second, Fort Lauderdale third, Tisdale fourth. American Taylor had a terrible showing up seventh. Lucio Lacio Man sixth, and Skip Away distance eighth. Hey, look at the thing. $186. On a $2 bet. He ends up starting away with $4,200,000. Remember that was a $7 million race. Let's go ahead and finish this up. You've seen all the races run. And let's go back to the main menu and pick up the top 10. Just for sake of argument, here's your winning victory points. Liverpool won everything. Fort Lauderdale had the most victory points. And check the winning. And you can see, so of course will win because he won over $4 million in one race. There you have it. That's the top 20 out of 41 horses. Well, I hope you enjoyed this special presentation from TRG Central of the BC Classic Championships, I guess we can call them. So this is Gary signing off. Hopefully you enjoy the races and enjoy the rest of your evening.